How's it going, guys? Today I have something a little bit different. Earlier, the police have released crime scene photos from the Ritz Carlton in the room that Bob Saget passed away in. And some of this stuff doesn't exactly make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'll show you the pictures and let me know what you think. Now, Bob performed his last show in Jacksonville, Florida, and then he drove about the 2 hours back to the Ritz Carlton in Orlando. And this is the last photo ever taken of him. This was the valet at the Ritz Carlton. His name was Orlando Nunez, and he recognized Bob when he brought his car up to park and asked him for a picture, and they talked for a few minutes. And as you can see, Bob looks, maybe a little bit tired, but not disoriented. Everything looks fine. He was in good health. So that's the last photo that was ever taken of him, and they figure about 2 hours before he passed away. Now, if you've been following this situation, this is the reports of the head injuries that Bob had, and you've probably seen this before. It's not really a new thing, but this explains the injuries that it was shown in his autopsy to have had. So if you need a second to take a look at this and read it, feel free. Now, here are the findings that were released by the medical examiner. And I'm no doctor, so some of these things, it's kind of, some of this stuff might not make a whole lot of sense. But, so there were blunt force injuries to his head in numerous places. He had an abrasion on the scalp, hemorrhages, a linear fracture at the base of the skull. He had a damaged eye, pretty severe injuries. And they couldn't really figure out what in the room he could have hit his head on to cause these types of injuries, because from the crime scene, there was no blood anywhere, and there was no traces of anything that he could have possibly hit his head on. Now, it also says here that some of the other findings were that he was COVID positive. He had just gotten over a bout of COVID from every report that I've read. But, that's not going to cause a head injury by itself. So the question is, what could he have possibly hit his head on, or how could this have happened? Now, at first, the police said that maybe he hit his head on the headboard, but as you can see here, there really isn't a headboard. It's just up against the wall, and, it's all padded here. And from the bigger pictures, there really wasn't any place for him to hit his head. Now, let me just say that I'm no conspiracy theorist or anything, and I'm a huge fan of Bob Saget. Always thought that he was a great guy. I know several people that knew him within the business. They always had great things to say about him. Very warm personality, a great guy. But some of this stuff just doesn't really seem to make sense. Now, as they also said, if he had fallen backwards and hit his head on the nightstand here, there would have been traces, there would have been blood, there would have been something here, and everything appeared to be clean, as you can see here from the crime scene photos. It still had his cell phone there plugged in, iPad, some of his personal things. And this was the other part of the room. It was pretty much a 2-bedroom suite, and, there's a fold-out couch over here that, obviously he didn't use any of this. Nothing in this room seemed to have been touched. There was one glass here that it looks like he might have taken out to get some water or something like that, but none of the alcohol was touched, and neither was anything else over here. It was a very clean room, and this is the bathroom, and they kind of speculated maybe he could have fallen, hit his head on the floor, maybe on the bathtub, maybe even in the shower. It does appear that he had used the bathtub. There was a towel in it that was dirty. But, a lot of this stuff, it doesn't, there's no cut and clear reason why he might have fallen or what might have happened. A lot of people have speculations that maybe it was something else. But let me know what you think. I'm curious as to what everyone's opinion is on this. But yeah, and one other thing too, for anybody curious, this room is back on the block of rooms available to be rented. This room has already been rented back out. And when I checked, this room and rooms like it are going for $1,300 a night. Now, like I said, this is a little different than most of the videos that I've done, but I was just looking at these photos and I was trying to think of how this could have happened, and I wanted to share them with you guys just in case you hadn't seen them. So let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you being here and checking out the channel. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great night.